Hello and welcome to another episode of the 2 Limes and a Lemon podcast. Today we're on episode 2 of our Left on the D-Pad series where we look at games that have either successfully or unsuccessfully transitioned over to the movies realm. So today we're going to grab our gun holsters, tiny backpacks and medikits as we unearth the movie that is 2001's Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Are we having theme music? Like, how do we... Is it just start with us talking?
Yeah, Dave's gonna do us some like a jingle, I think.
Dave.
Nat.
Danielle.
2 Limes and a Lemon.
I'm joined today by my co-hosts Danielle and Dave. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
But before we dive into an undiscovered trove of information regarding the movie, we'll take a look at what we've been consuming this week. Now that may be games, movies, TV shows, books, or maybe a delicious meal that you think worthy of enough of us to hear about. Dave, we'll start with you.
I watched a film yesterday. Well, by watched it, I watched half of it. It's called Skinamarink. When you was talking then, I was like, if she says me first, I need to Google the name so I can say it properly. I looked up ages ago what Skinamarink means, and I can't remember now.
I don't know what it means, but it was part of this song, like a kid's song. It was like, Skinamarink-a-dinky-dink, Skinamarink-a-doo, I love you.
Fair enough. That's 100% the same as the film.
Is it?
Well, it's about kids in a way. So, like, the reason why I didn't get I only watched half of it. It was a bit too spooky for me. I just wanted to maybe come back at it another time.
In the daylight. Was you watching it at night?
In the daylight. Yeah, I reckon watch it in the daylight. Yeah, that might be a better.
I'm really surprised because I tried to watch it and I think I got 10 minutes into it and I just was bored. Does it pick up?
So what's it actually about?
Okay, so yeah, a little quick run through. It's about two kids that their dad comes back, makes a phone call to someone and says how their sons hurt their head through sleepwalking, and then he kind of just disappears, and then bits of like the window and the door start to vanish, and these kids are kind of just left to fend for themselves in the house, and there's some like weird presence in the house that's telling them to do things, and it's all a bit weird, and they're watching those kind of old style cartoons where it's all like creepy kind of, I think it's called Rubber Band or Rubber something.
Oh yeah.
And it's all like and it's all kind of like, I don't really like this kind of sound. And yeah, like Danielle says, it is very slow. For me, it worked because I was watching it at night and it was kind of like a bit atmospheric. And
if I remember correctly, like there's no real narrative to it. Like what I remember watching was just like maybe like TV static, and like it was sort of a black and white but kind of bluish, and the camera just kind of going through this house. I don't remember actually seeing any characters talking or explaining a plot. It's
definitely an experimental movie where you're just there to kind of like feel tense. There's a tiny bit of a plot. I had to look at it online to sort of, was I right? Was this happening? But essentially it's these two kids trapped in a house and there's a weird evil presence that's kind of telling them to do things. And
how about you, Danielle?
So what I've been consuming is probably going to come up a few more times in the next few months, and I apologize. But Taylor Swift announced that she has a new album coming out, and so it had the ripple effect that it always has on me, where I start listening to a bunch of other Taylor Swift music. So I've been kind of like obsessively listening to Taylor Swift music and then looking at all the Easter eggs about clues about what the new album is going to be like, and it's all a bunch of silliness, but I enjoy it. I started this after I went through the incredible like gauntlet to try and get tickets to the Taylor Swift concert. And then I like felt like I had to prepare. I don't know. I'm weird, whatever. But I felt like I had to.
You needed to know all the words for when you went.
Yeah. And so I listened to it a bunch, and then I burned myself out on it. So this year I hadn't listened to much at all. And then this announcement came in and I found myself wanting to listen. But, love her or hate her, she does, like, one, she's a marketing genius. So, like, the fact that they're announcing that the album is coming out October 3rd, and then, like, 3 days later, they had the pre-orders for the album, and then they had special edition albums, and then they're probably going to have like, oh, the special editions have sold out. Oh wait, no, a month later they're going to be available again, and then they're going to have like a merch drop that's not going to tell you anything about the album, but it's going to have like the title of the album on it with kind of, and you'll get an idea of the vibe. But also like she sort of is like an escape room with her marketing too. Like she puts all these little Easter eggs and then the fans get really, I don't get really into like trying to decipher myself. I more like to, like from an outsider point, look at these videos of these fans that are like, oh, it says she said the word sourdough and this is related to the mascot of the San Francisco 49ers. So she's definitely going to be playing at the Super Bowl this year. Or, you know, oh, she made this announcement at midnight. So that means, you know, it's going to be whatever, the 12th album. So.
Have you been doing that?
And you?
Thank you for asking. I have, well, to be fair, I've been doing a lot of like editing work this week. So I've had on in the background Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. So I've been watching a lot of like mysteries that I'll never know the answer properly to, but they're very interesting. I think it is kind of like the thing that you go through, like I think the 3 new episodes that went on, there was one about like cow mutilation or like cattle mutilation, one about like a spirit guide for some medium, and one about Roswell. But you're watching it and you're kind of like, oh, there'll be like a punchline, but you're like, oh no, there won't, because it is an unsolved mystery.
We'll never know. You have to go delve it in yourself.
We'll never know. Maybe one day.
I'll write it down.
Don't lose hope.
Yeah, but they are interesting. It makes you want to be like one of those people that go out and like research all this stuff.
Yeah. I grew up with the original Unsolved Mysteries, and I remember just being as a kid,
The guy in the trench coat.
yeah, being very scared by it. And I don't remember specific mysteries, except there were a lot of them that we found her camera, and like she went out for a hike by herself, and these are the last pictures.
Yeah.
And then, like, as a single woman, anytime I go out and do something by myself, that's always in the back of my head. Oh, am I going to be an unsolved mystery? And they find evidence on my phone of what I did last.
She's like, in my videos, I better look good, because one day this might be on a Netflix documentary.
Or they're just scrolling through pictures of my cats. Oh, come on, where's the new stuff?
Yeah. And like Taylor Swift merch. We've taken a picture of. So now on to our main feature, Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Our titular character is being played by Angelina Jolie. A brief outline of the plot is Lara discovers a ticking clock in the walls of Croft Manor, which is counting down to the alignment of some planets and an eclipse. However, she needs to find 2 halves of a triangle that, when put together, can give the wielder immense power. But of course, there are other Tomb Raiders and the Illuminati who also want this power, so we go on a jet-setting adventure through England, Cambodia, Venice and Siberia to see who's the victor. So my first question to you guys is, who played the original games?
I played the original games when they first came out, yeah. I remember it being on a demo first on a disc, but then I remember only playing the first game, though.
My experience with the games only started with The Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which came...
Oh, a lot later, yeah.
When she was fully clothed and didn't wear tiny shorts.
Yeah. But I was aware of what the character looked like, even though I hadn't played the game. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I got the original Tomb Raider with my first PlayStation. It was one of the 5 games that came with it. So pretty much as soon as I got into properly gaming, it was one of the games that I started with. I was very much like, until later on, I was very much, I'd only play Tomb Raider. I wouldn't play like Uncharted, because I was like, it's just a Tomb Raider clone. But I do like Uncharted now.
It's funny because I've got, like, with Tomb Raider, I've got like a special connection with it with my grandma, because she doesn't really play games. She loved Tomb Raider, or she loves Tomb Raider. Like, I remember on the first level, you've got to like run and jump over this gap, and if you fall in the gap, there's like a bear down there.
Yes.
She never got past that bit, which is like right at the start. But you do have to kind of get through these wolves and stuff. I lent her my PlayStation, and then she would play Tomb Raider upstairs. And then I remember when the film came out, I was like, Grandma. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, Tomb Raider. Yeah, what about it? It's a film. We have to. And I'd like the VHS. I was like, we watched it all the time.
Yeah.
So it was quite funny watching Tomb Raider with my grandma.
So I'm just imagining your grandmother spending hours playing 2 minutes of Tomb Raider because she can't get past the first obstacle.
To be fair, me and Nat have recently been replaying the Tomb Raider games. Those tank controls of just moving forward, left or right are quite difficult to get your head around. Like, it's a hard game. If you look at the games nowadays, like the new Tomb Raider stuff, it's so easy in comparison. Like, Tomb Raider is difficult, yeah.
But it is something weird about those old games in that when we're playing the remastered one, if we try and set it to modern controls, it just doesn't work. It's kind of like those particular games are hardwired that you have to play them with the old controls almost.
So are you playing the original games on the original system, or do they have sort of like the updates where you can play the old games on the new system?
So there's like a remastered, well, there's two lots of trilogies. There's 1, 2 and 3 and then 4, 5, 6. We're playing it on PlayStation 5, but it's the old games. It's been, the visuals have been upgraded.
Just out of curiosity, since my only experience is with the new games, are they the same sort of puzzles and narrative, or are the old games kind of exploring?
The puzzles are a lot harder. I'd say there's probably more puzzles in the older games than there is in the newer ones. I think the newer ones are more aligned to like action and like fighting, whereas I think the old games definitely focused on like actual puzzles, jumping puzzles, like it's a lot of running backwards and forwards, working out what switches open, what doors. I would say it was definitely not action focused.
But do you get an achievement for petting all the llamas?
No, you don't. However, because it is obviously remastered, there are new achievements that you didn't get the first time round.
But like when you get chased by sharks or there's crocodiles in the water, there's definitely this sense of like go, it's there. Like me and Nat jumped. We had so many jump scares.
Cobras.
These cobras that it's just terrifying jump scares and stuff. So I mean, I thought playing it again, it's a good fun game. It still kind of stands today. It's still difficult. It's still challenging.
Do you want to plug your videos for it? Aren't you guys doing a series on YouTube?
We are, on Miles by Design Gaming. We're working our way through Tomb Raider 3 at the moment. We played Tomb Raider 1 on our own, and then we were like, actually, this has been quite fun. So we were like, oh, we'll film it. So what did everybody think of Angelina Jolie's portrayal of Lara?
I remember really liking this film whenever it came out, and maybe because I had no frame of reference of who or what Laura, like, aside from, the general look and the sort of huge boobs and the tiny shorts. I didn't have an idea of the character. Yeah, I haven't seen the more recent film, but now I have frame of reference of the later games. I don't know, the look is she looks gorgeous in this film. Yeah, I kind of wanted her to be a little bit more, she erred more on the side of the combat and less on the I'm knowledgeable about artifacts and thing in history.
Yeah, okay. I can see that, yeah.
That's true, yeah. She's very much action hero. I think the same, yeah, I agree. Like she had the little curls at the start with the little strands of hair, doing the Lara Croft, like, squinty face. I feel like she really kind of, like, probably maybe watched or played a few moments of the game and saw how she moved and was like, I'm going to try and incorporate this in some of the performance, especially at the start. The very first scene is like, she's fighting this robot. She's not just doing like, oh, I'm an action hero kind of character. She's kind of following the same movements Lara does. Like when Lara's running with her guns, she's got them out and she's running. When she's jumping, she's doing like the barrel roll flips and stuff. So it's very much like reminiscing and bring you into sort of that AIM version of Lara, especially because how it's set up as well. It's like a computer game. She's doing a simulation right at the start. So like it's really sort of throwing into the sort of like, this is Lara Croft kind of thing.
Yeah, that opening shot definitely like introduces you to the character well. And it's like upside down, isn't it? Like the first shot of her on the road. So it was it's quite iconic. For me, when I first saw the movie back in 2001, I remember not liking Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. And I don't really know why. I just had this like thing that I remember not really liking her. She wasn't, I think because I played so much Tomb Raider, she wasn't kind of like the Tomb Raider that I had in my head sort of thing.
Well, do you think it also could have been how, 2001, Angelina Jolie was everywhere. She had just won the Oscar, and she was, making out with her brother, and she had the vial of Billy Bob Thornton's blood around her neck, and she, it was a bit, oversaturation that maybe that contributed.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. I can't really remember why the reason was that I didn't like the portrayal, but I just remember that when it first came out, I was like, oh, I don't like it. Like, I don't like her. But watching it back now, I loved her portrayal of it. And I don't know if that might be to do with the fact of I have seen the new Alicia Vikander ones, and I don't like her portrayal of it. So now I'm like, oh, well, I really like Angelina Jolie's portrayal of it.
I feel like it just does. She just plays it like, oh, basically you're going to be a badass, and you've just got to kind of just own every scene and kind of be the cool person we all want you to be. Like, because I guess in those games, Lara doesn't really have much of a personality other than like she's just running around with guns and shooting people, and
she's a bit cocky, isn't it? She's like when she meets up with people. Yeah, she is 100%, and she does portray that really well. And also from watching, like, I brought out my old DVD to watch this one, and it had a load of like the making of afterwards. So I was like, oh, that'll be a good thing to watch. And she really did put her heart and soul into training for this part.
Oh, really?
Like, you couldn't fault her for, she was like 3 months prior to shooting, she went into like training. She was training like 6 days a week in 6 or 7 different disciplines. Like, her diet was completely changed so that she could get that like svelte figure. She learned like fighting, yoga, like military weapons training, the motorbike riding, husky riding, gymnastics. Yeah, literally, she was Lara for those months that she was working on that movie. They mentioned how they had like stunt doubles to do stuff, but a lot of the time she ended up doing it herself, and they were like blessed the fact that they could have like their leading lady doing all these stunts themselves, like the bungee ballet, and when she's on the column in that tomb, like swinging backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Apparently, the stunt doubles had to go in, and they had to have like motion sickness tablets.
Oh, really?
Because and they couldn't even stand up, and then she apparently got on it, and she was like absolutely fine and managed to stand up on it.
She's like, get out of the way, I can do this.
What did you guys think of her accent? I was curious about that. I
didn't dislike the accent. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it was a British accent. I didn't sell it.
However, Daniel Craig's to American, not so much.
No. Lara, you're going to shoot me, whatever his name is. What's his character called?
Alex. Yeah, West.
Are you going to shoot me, Alex? And she just dives into a water.
The movie had me wondering, were there no British actors? Because they also got Noah Taylor, who's Australian.
Oh, he was the tech guy, wasn't he?
I thought her friends were English. Are they not?
Chris Barry, obviously, is English, the butler.
Yeah, the butler, yeah.
I don't know much about Noah Taylor. You say he's Australian?
Yeah, he got his start as a teen in one of Nicole Kidman's films. And then around this time, he was in the movie Shine, which was with Jeffrey Rush, and it was about this piano genius.
There are quite a lot of memorable characters, to be fair. Considering it is quite a small cast, I think the characters that are in it are quite memorable.
Can I just bring up one scene?
Of course you can.
As a child, I was like, oh yeah, the shower scene, side boob. Like, I was, perverted, stupid teen watching that. Watching it now, what is going on? That music is like drums, Egyptian music, and she's kind of squinting, and she's got this constant like mouth open, and the water's spraying, and she's like, I'm Lara Croft. It's like, no one else.
They didn't need that shower scene at all.
They didn't need it.
No one else is there. She's just like, and they do this Little Mermaid kind of like aerial flip back of the hair.
Oh, yeah. I will say they balanced it out by later having a shower scene with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, 100%.
No, he
true.
It wasn't so long and sensuous, but
there was actually going to be more shower scenes throughout the movie. But they wanted to keep it as a 12, so they had to cut them.
Oh, God. I don't think they needed to.
However, when researching, like, obviously Angelina as the role, the amount of people that either auditioned, turned down the part, it was like basically all of Hollywood wanted to be Lara Croft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of the ones I got here are Catherine Zeta-Jones was considered for it. Denise Richards, Charlize Theron, Uma Thurman and Liv Tyler turned it down. Yeah, so it's like loads of different people, like people that you would never think would be Tomb Raider basically auditioned for this part.
A lot of them went on, though, to do sort of female-centric action films. Remember Charlize Theron did...
Atomic Blonde?
Atomic Blonde, that's it. And then Catherine Zeta-Jones at that time. Zorro and the
Zorro? Yeah.
what's the one where she's doing, like, the acrobats through the laser?
Have you got a particular action scene within the film that you preferred over others?
I did like when she was in the car park. No, car park. She like owns a car park in her like garage with thousands of a car, and she's got a kind of like she gets on that bike and then just does that wheel spin and just knocks him out, and she's like, "Go on, Nora." That was quite cool.
Oh yeah,
I like the fact that one's like it lasts forever, doesn't it? Because it obviously starts at the bungee ballet, then completely changes into like all over the place in that house.
Why is she bungee balleting at?
I like the idea
2 a.m.?
that every night she puts on her like silky, sexy pajamas, only buttons one, and then does aerial balletic acrobats in her foyer. I don't know.
I have a bit of trivia about them pajamas. They had 60 pairs because of the like they kept like ripping, I assume, when they were doing the bungee ballet.
Powell and West and their crew are trying to get into the front of that temple that Laura is going the other way to. And Powell is like, we only have 72 hours until the next configuration. We need to get into there. And so Daniel Craig as Alex West takes off his shirt and then like helps all these other me pulling on this with
it's
like
gonna make a difference.
150 other,
I'm getting involved now. Before I wasn't. Yeah.
I know, that is so funny. I wrote that down in my notes as well. So I was like it's gonna make any difference. One guy being like, "It's me.
Pull, guys, pull."
Yeah, and then he's telling her what to do. It's like, we've been doing this for hours.
Yeah. Who was that little girl, though? Yeah. Who was the little girl that helped Lara?
Well, there's two little girls. Because in Siberia, there's another, like, mysterious little girl.
I always thought it was kind of like young Lara, because she does see herself as a young child throughout the movie, doesn't she? And I was almost like, is it like meant to be like her as a young child? Because when her dad was like talking to her about mysteries and all that, I don't know though. I don't know who the girl is, but that's how I kind of saw it.
I think I also, like, in my mind thought people who of the areas knew that these things were hidden, and they could tell that she was like better than the rest of these people, and so they kind of gave her the little hint to help her along, because she was
My issue with it all though is obviously she finds the ticking clock inside her mansion, but if she had done nothing with it, it would have still been a good outcome to the movie, because her then taking the clock to the guy at the auction house, who then betrays her by telling Powell, then sets it off into motion that it's all the baddies are trying to get it. But if she had literally just not said anything, it was going to be like another 5,000 years till this event happened. Right. And I'm like, that's someone else's problem.
No, maybe because the Illuminati, or what the Illuminati are, they could have possibly figured out that her father had found the clock and gotten to it without her having told somebody. But yeah, I knows.
My thing was the fact that it's the Illuminati, so they would be around for another 5,000 years. So they'll just have to wait and then do it then, whoever's the leader's there. So Lara won't be there to stop them, so she has to stop them now.
But potentially nobody could have ever found that clock, because, I mean, she had to tear into part of her house,
She could have just smashed the first bit of the triangle when she first got it.
She could have done, or she could have just got rid of that little grain of sand bit that she needed from the clock.
She wanted to see her dad again as well, right? So that was the reason not to.
I mean, I don't mind, because the movie's good, but I am like, you didn't need to go through all of this. You probably could have just... Like, the world might not even be here in 5,000 years, so it might be like, it don't matter.
But we were talking about favorite scenes, and that whole scene of getting into the tomb leads to probably my favorite scene, because it felt most like the games to me, where you're in this jungle tomb and there's like a bunch of puzzles, but there's also combat, and they have to figure out they have to figure out a number of things on where the clock goes and, her surfing on the column to get it open, and then the statues come alive.
Which they are very unfazed about. I'll put that on there. The statues come to life because the silver goop goes into the little slots or whatever. But nobody's like, oh my god, statues have come to life. They're all just like, yeah, we better start shooting. But nobody's actually like, has anyone actually ever seen statues come to life before?
all in the day's work of a Tomb Raider. They're just
apparently
it.
So.
Yeah, this happens all the time.
I wondered, did the column have to pierce that urn, or could somebody have taken like a...
Could you shot it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did wonder that when it was like, it's not swinging far enough. I'm like, you probably could just shoot it.
It's slowing down. It's slowing.
The Shiva sort of statue that's at the big one.
Yeah.
It was taken out of Tomb Raider 3, funnily enough, because me and Dave have just been killing those with the swords in their hands. I was like, they take so many bullets to kill in the games. This one, you just need to pierce it, apparently. Why didn't we have a big column?
I liked how considerate the big statue was, because it took its urn and carefully put it to the side and then got up to start killing people.
It did. That sound effect. The sound effect was really good. It was like that gong kind of thing, yeah. I was actually like, that's pretty good sound design, yeah.
I felt a bit sorry for the big statue, actually, because at one point where it looks like it's just like smiling at her, and then she like shoots it in the face. I think Laura might be the baddie. He's like, I was going to help you stop the Illuminati from getting the triangle, and she's like, no, I'm just going to shoot you. Also, the end of that scene where she gets like carried out of the tomb by like a monkey one. She like flies out of the tomb and then it hits the sunlight and it all disintegrates. But everybody else that had been in the tomb beforehand has gone back to like just sitting on the couch, even though that they know that she's in there like fighting for her life.
They're just having a little chill. They're all like,
they didn't know that the creatures couldn't come outside. So they're just like, oh, we're outside now. Let's just sit down and have some tea.
Oh yeah, because he's sitting on his little like rug.
Yeah, like he's always like lounging around.
Yeah.
Dave, I had a general question about the filming. Thought maybe you could help out with.
Okay.
So I noticed in this viewing that in a lot of the action scenes, it would go into like slow motion. Do you know if there's a reason for that?
So they're trying to do that. Yeah, you can tell when they're trying to do. It's not like super smooth slow motion either. It's just trying to show the impact of something. So like nowadays you would have smoother slow, but that's just like, oh, we'll just slow it down. But they haven't shot it at a higher frame rate to make it look super smooth. So they've got like this kind of like edited slowed down shot. Sort of like, is this when she's gonna smash into something or?
Yeah, it was a lot of times I noticed. But it's like at the climax of an action scene, usually. Yeah,
it's just, I guess, to show the impact of what's going on.
I know the director said he wanted to use like as least amount of CG as possible. He wanted to do like as much of it practical as
How
he
you can
could.
do this big monster.
Yeah, I think on those moments he had to relent, but he definitely Simon West was the director, and he said he insisted that he didn't want blue or green screen to be like overused.
Simon West? You mean the genius director of Con Air?
Oh my god, is it the same director?
Yes.
Oh my god. Well, he's definitely got better.
Yeah. Because the sets are really good, aren't they?
Yeah, the tombs were built to scale, yeah.
Do you think that's maybe why there weren't so many of these on-location set pieces in the film then? Because that was, I guess, one of my major critiques is we don't get into Cambodia until about 40 minutes into the film, and knowing what Tomb Raider is, that's where I wanted the majority of the film to be.
So we've got this house, we have to use it.
He picked Cambodia because it's like a place that hasn't really been depicted in any other movies, apparently. They picked that because it would be mysterious to the audience. And also, he said that he didn't want any sand locations because he wanted to be like completely apart from like other...
Like Indiana Jones, yeah.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, The Mummy, like those sort of like going into tomb movies. So he was like, no sand locations. My favourite action thing, I don't think I actually said my one, but probably is the last bit with the orrery.
Oh,
if
yeah.
that's how you pronounce it, with the planets.
Yeah.
That reminded me of the Dark Crystal.
Same, and I think that's why I like it, because it is very similar to that bit. But again, another fully built set that was made out of steel, and it's like you wouldn't get that probably in movies nowadays. Like they had to be like really careful they didn't get any actors crushed in it.
Yeah, like that poor guy who gets like one of the worst deaths. He sort of flies over him and he gets splattered. Yeah, really like them. For some reason, there's a really good bit where it's when Lara gets involved and she's trying to look for the place to put the clock. And the music just sort of starts getting into this sort of like violin, like dun 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 dun. It's all like very like intense. The music,
But that is a bit like the games, isn't it? When you do like a big set piece in the games, you usually get like a bit of orchestral music come on, and you're like, oh, something big's going to happen because the music's kicked off. The final bit of the movie where they obviously go to, I think it's meant to be Siberia, but they filmed it in Iceland, isn't it? Obviously they go to what they call the dead zone, and my biggest issue with that is if it's a dead zone and everybody knows it's a dead zone and you can't use any technology there, why did she bring the tech guy with her?
Yeah,
just hang out with Mr. Pims, because it's like, this is my little friend. This is your little friend.
And then they both proceed to look directly into an eclipse without any glasses on.
That would be a fun sequel, but with Bryce and Mr.
They
Pims
can't call for help.
Blind solving adventures.
We watched the deleted... Well, you showed me a deleted scene today, didn't you, Nat?
I did.
And oh my God, it ramps up 100-fold.
Because I had the question of what happens to the man in the auction house that betrays her, that she obviously has got like a great friendship with. And then one of the deleted scenes is about him. I'll let Dave tell it.
Yeah, so he meets up with Jorah Mormont, and he's like, pal. And he's like, you have betrayed her, haven't you? You naughty little boy. And then the old man's like, oh, I've done a bad service. And they go off for a walk, and they go like some like weird construction site. And he gives him this helmet, and he's like, kneel before me. And he's like, I'm sorry for what I've done. And there's like an army of people behind. And I'm like, are they just going to just outright pull out those like Uzis and just shoot the hell out of this poor bloke? And he's like, please, I'm sorry. And then someone passes him like a samurai sword. I was like, oh, he's just going to like, you have to kill yourself with this, or I'm just going to stab you. But no, he does this like ninja samurai slash with his sword, cuts this poor bloke's head off clean, donk on the floor. You see this body on the floor and his head, and he's like, your service has been accounted for, or whatever. And then he's like, Mr. Pims, take the head. And you're like, why are we taking
he's
the
like,
head?
bag the head.
Bag the head. And then Mr. Pims is like, oh, this is gross. I'm like, this is not a comedy moment, you've just murdered this old man by slicing
I'm assuming that's
his head
one
off.
of the things that had to be lost because they wanted to keep it at 12. But it fully beheaded this little old man.
Maybe there was like a callback later, like whenever they raid her house and completely tear it apart. Maybe they left the old man's head.
At the end, when he gets stabbed, his whole team just go, oh, we're going to go now. See you later. And then
I know, they swap sides so quickly.
I'm like, but why? He's not dead. He's got stabbed. Because he has a whole fight scene with her. He fights with Lara, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was surprised how well he fought, considering he was like stabbed in like the neck or the chest.
I do hate it in movies where they're like, no guns. I'm like, he murdered your dad, apparently in like Outworld, according to the flashback, because it's like he's on the edge of a mountain in like some desolate place.
It's like, where are we? Don't worry.
She knows that she's got to be quick. She shouldn't have done like fists. No. She should have just shot him.
All the stuff falls on him, right? She squeezes his wound with her thumb or punches it a few times and he's down.
I don't even remember how he died. I just remember the bit where they were running up that pyramid, and I was like, this is the one bit in the movie where the CG has not held up. They're like, so they put the triangles together, and then they've got to run up in some other like universe almost up the sides of a pyramid to then grab the triangle again at the top.
And then when you don't grab it, he's like, no. I'm like, what? Paul's where though? Where's he gone? What's happening? What happened?
I don't know, because he's not dead at that point, is he? Yeah.
He just goes back to his consciousness.
Yeah, that bit lost me a little bit. And I was like, that's the one bit where the CG definitely didn't hold up to the rest of it.
Well, that and the scene you briefly talked about where Powell kills her father. It was like, is this a real place? It's this like it looked like a video game cutscene. It was so artificial
100%. However, there is a new reboot coming out, isn't it? They've left Alicia Vikander now, and they've gone on to Sophie Turner is now Tomb Raider.
What?
Yes. So she is apparently, it was on Instagram, she's been training to be Tomb Raider. What's everyone's thoughts on that casting?
I don't know. Because it's Sansa, isn't it? I can't not see Sansa. She's a bit of a Kim Possible rather than a Tomb Raider, Lara Croft.
I feel like it's a bit like my issue with the Uncharted movie in that Tom Holland was too young, and now I feel like they've done the same to Tomb Raider. They've tried to like make it for a younger audience, but I'm like, but your audience that loves Tomb Raider are an older audience. So
Angelina Jolie was 26 when she was Lara.
Yeah.
How old is what's her name?
28 or something.
I don't know. Just Angelina looks older, doesn't she? She looks more mature.
She does.
I'm not saying she looks old.
That's difference because when we were younger, we watched it and we see her as a.
I suppose,
person,
yeah.
So it's different now. Now that we're old.
Also,
now that we're old people.
Not to be crude, but I felt like Angelina Jolie sort of had more of the shape that I am imagining Lara Croft compared to Sophie Turner.
Speaking about her shape, even Angelina was like a bit self-conscious because she refused to apparently to wear the iconic shorts until 2 weeks before shooting, and then she relented because she was like, no, the people, like the audience will want to see the shorts.
She doesn't wear them a lot though.
She doesn't, no. I think they changed it so she was wearing like long pants later on. But yeah, that initial scene in the house where she's fighting the robot, I think is the main one where she's wearing them, isn't she?
Yeah, it's supposed to just show you like, this is Lara. Okay, now we can move on from there.
I liked her snow outfit though. Like, if we're talking about fashion, yeah.
I was going to talk about that too. I will say it did not look warm enough. Everybody else was in like full parkas, and she looked to be wearing like a duster.
Yeah, a duster that was open, no scarf, like a little tank top.
Yes, she's like in full spandex white in the movie with this, which looks like a very like, maybe it's made of some material that's much warmer that she needs to have it unbuttoned the whole time, but it had like a little stripe of fur on the hood.
I was going to say, this is the Danielle segment with the costume.
With the fashion, yeah.
Fashion choices with Danielle.
Like, it ended in the most of the era way too, with this like Basement Jack song. Where's your
yeah.
I was like,
Pure,
transported back to Y2K.
Where's your head at? And she's dressed in a dress. He's like, not a word.
Back to another fashion choice. For some reason, like, Angelina Jolie is beautiful. She wore dresses all the time. I don't know if it was how she bulked up for the film, but that sundress looked so awkward on her. I don't know why. Maybe it was the floppy, like the garden hat with it. But she just, like, she puts a sundress on just to go to her dad's grave.
That's in the garden. It's not even like she's gone anywhere.
She's going to get changed straight away.
Right, let's get to rounding up our scores. So, we'll start with, what was everybody's favourite scene? I
liked Who Sits Here? But who sits here? When they're in the Venice.
Yeah, picking at the Illuminati chairs.
Yeah, and I'm the hand of God, blah, blah. And yes, but who sits here? Oh, you can join me. We can rule the world. I don't think you sit in this chair, do you? That's my favourite scene.
How about you, Danielle?
I think the stuff in the jungle I liked the best. You?
Mine was probably the bungee ballet. That's the bit I enjoyed. It made me want to do bungee ballet. Even though I don't like heights, so I definitely wouldn't want to do bungee ballet. But it looked very graceful.
It's just you screaming.
Yeah, the whole time. Oh, it's so calming. Who was everybody's favourite character?
If we're not saying Lara, I'd say Mr. Pims.
Fair enough. Why did you like Mr. Pims?
Or the old guy who got in the deleted scenes. Just because he was like on the phone. There's a scene when he's like leaving her a voicemail and he's like, I want to tell you about that clock. It's like emphasis on the thing you came. Like he's whispering it. There's no one else in his office. The clock. Yeah, I liked him. He was great.
He was good.
I'm going to give it to him.
How about you, Danielle?
Mine was a tie between the butler and Bryce. I liked her like sidekicks, and I wanted to see more of the butler because I thought he was.
I
fun.
agree. He should have had more screen time. Who was your least favourite?
How about you?
Oh, my favourite.
Wait,
my favourite. Mine was Pow. I thought he was great. He was such a like cheesy baddie that was like perfect for like early 2000s, late 90s films. He was, and also like Ian Glenn, the actor, I really like him and his voice and everything. Yeah. So I was like, for me, he was the perfect baddie. Worst characters.
I have a collective. I thought the Illuminati were the worst because they were supposed to be this big, ominous, evil force in the world, and they just looked like the people on the Shark Tank, or what do you guys call it?
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den.
Like the one where people go. Yeah, that's all they looked like. They looked like a bunch of rich people who were like, "Oh, we'll fund your thing." Or,
looked like a village council, didn't they? Just hanging out. What's going on in the fate?
I picked Bryce as my least favourite.
Oh, really?
I just thought he was a bit useless, honestly.
What about
he didn't do much with the shotgun, did he?
No, exactly. At the beginning, when there's the attack on the mansion, he can't hear it, and then he gets trapped in his little camper van sort of thing. Yeah. And then,
but then he tells her where they are. He has them on the camera when they're in the equipment room.
Oh, that's
and he's like, by the Aston Martin.
Yeah, that's true.
She knows where to shoot.
But then he's got the little camera in the clock, trying to see round it, and then he messes it up. Then he goes to the dead zone, which is his only I just thought his character was a bit useless. He could have not been there. He definitely didn't deserve to go to the final mission to then go to a dead zone.
Yeah, I don't know why he was brought along.
Yeah, I think the butler should have had more of a role. I mean, he busts out in Kevlar and a shotgun with his slippers on.
Slippers on.
Yeah. He's much more useful. So I suppose that brings us to our ratings. Who would like to go first?
Go on, Nat. Nat, you can go first.
You want me to go first? Do you know what? I haven't actually written down my ratings, so I'm going to have to think of it on the fly. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 limes. That's
pretty good. I would say 4.5.
Oh, okay.
Limes. Cool. Yeah, I think I enjoy that. I think I would I would easily go and watch it again. I'm happy to.
Yeah, me too. Actually,
I want to show my nieces in that sort of sense and see what they think.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
I gave it a 3, and just because I wanted more of much like you said of the game that you're playing right now, I didn't want to be in London so long.
So yeah, I think that's us done with Tomb Raider. I'm glad that everyone enjoyed watching it because. When I picked it, I mean, obviously, I should have said at the beginning of this episode, it wasn't originally going to be Tomb Raider, but I have misplaced my Doom DVD. So it then became... Because I think at the end of Danielle's Until Dawn episode, I gave a teaser to Doom, which I was like, the guns kind of still work, but the demons definitely don't. So thanks for coming along with us for another outing on Left on the D-Pad. Next time it will be Dave's pick. I don't know if he has actually picked one. Would you like to give us some teasers and then change it for the film anyway?
I've got no teasers whatsoever. I still have to think. I think I've got some ideas.
It will be a film. It'll be based on a video game.
Okie dokie. Well, we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.